Okay, bitches. So let's talk about the whole Dolores Huerta thing. I find it interesting that the biggest thing that's not being discussed, and the fact that we're like ready to erase this man, is that that's like the biggest way of sweeping everything underneath the rug rather than actually talking about the issues that are happening and that are existing in that whole situation. One being a man of power taking advantage of his power, and then two being a woman who was forced into acts that she did not want to have happen. And I think, again, yes, it's a bad situation, but we need to focus on what we need to work on in the future, because otherwise it's going to keep on happening. And then it's just like, oh, well, we're sorry it happened, but let's just like destroy the man's history and not talk about how we need to fix this. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's tragic, but how are we going to fix it? How are we going to help women in the future not have to go through this? Because again, we already had the hashtag Me Too movement, and I don't feel like everything's happened. I think, again, people are, they're trying to be sensitive over things that aren't actually fixing things. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a fix a flat. So like if ever you get a tire and like it goes flat, there's this thing called a fix a flat. And it's supposed to like fix the tire for like a little bit. But like, bitch, you shouldn't be driving all the time on that, and you actually should get a new tire. And I think that's the thing, is that like life is a bunch of fix a flats and people aren't actually like getting new tires. And so like the world is still just like running on that sad little tire that's gonna break anytime soon. And that's why when stuff like this happens, it doesn't really like cause actual change. And it's kind of ironic that like, especially it's about that it's not causing actual change, because these people were kind of like the personification of change that needed to happen. And it's like, well, why aren't we causing change to happen with what's been going around? Because again, it's a fix a flat. We're just gonna like destroy his history and like what he was, and not talk about how men continue to take advantage of women in this way and how we can prevent it. And then also how we can also strengthen women themselves to understand and not fall victim to a lot of these things, or put themselves in a situation. I'm not victim blaming by saying that. I'm just saying in the sense that, like, again, prevention needs to happen other than just destroying what had happened, because we're sweeping it under the rug like that, and no change is happening when we do that. So I want change. I want women to feel safe. I want women to understand that they are not property. Because again, when you just put them in these types of situations, that's all men view them as, is property, and that's why they feel they can do that. So we need to change minds. We need to change situations, and we need to stop just saying, okay, he's a bad person, end of day. It's not end of day, bitch. We need to continue and make things better. So that's the true tea.